Welcome to another episode of Wealth is Gangsters, really the real estate Wednesdays. You know what I'm saying? We got the homie Jerry up in here. You know the other half, Mike. He's in San Antonio at a seminar, right?
Yeah, some type of convention. So
Yeah. He was telling me
today's the
about it.
last day.
So he was telling me that I got some stuff I'm gonna run across. You know what I'm saying? He excited about the information he getting,
Yeah,
and that's important, man. That's what it's all about, and that's why it's super important that we build as people in general. But you know me, I focus on the black men. You know what I'm saying? Because we the one that been disenfranchised from our families, from our women, from our people the most, because they know if our mind is right, you know what I'm saying, that the rest of the world know they're in trouble. So to keep us under control, they got to keep the black men. You got to keep them in a certain situation or a certain posture. You know what I'm saying, to make them feel comfortable. Anyway, they feel like that. You know. So I just love when we all doing our different things. I was just about to say before I went live. That's why I went ahead and went live. I was like, if we're gonna have the conversation, then just going to go live with it all. But I was gonna speak to the fact that I seen that you took a real conscious effort on really doing your content more. I see, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, now I find myself waiting on the next piece of content, and you good at it. You know what I'm saying? Like from the what the fast forwarding into the like you got it all down. So like, it just came to you naturally, like, or you just woke up one day and just made a conscious effort, like I got this. This is just part of it that I got to do. So how was that? That coming home, that moment when you came to yourself, and was it somebody that pushed you, or just something you just woke up one day and said, "No, I just gotta consciously do this harder, go harder at this content."
So I think you are who you spend your amount of time with, bro. Honestly. So one of my best friends, in this industry is one of my homeboys named Derek, and he's always dropping content, right? Or the wholesaling business, or just real estate investing, period.
Yeah.
And we would see this content online. We would see his content, and me and Mike would just look at it like, bruh, like we go through some of this crazy, we go through crazier stuff, and look at the engagement on this, man. So it was just one of those things where I was just like, hey, you know what? I wanna record a lot more of the stuff that we're doing. If it wasn't for the people who we look up to, we learned the game from,
Yeah.
they put the content out there. So I was just like, hey, this is something I want to do. And I just was hanging out more and more around that crowd, man, and just started doing. I made it a goal last year to post 3 times a week, and that was a huge thing for me.
Yeah.
I was more of a consumer. I
Yeah.
was consuming all of the content,
Instead of getting
not necessarily using social media for what was best for me. So I was just constantly consuming content, and I just made it an effort to create more. So now I came into 2021 or 22 to create more than I consume. So once I made that effort to do it 3 times a week, it was a little hard at first, man, but Mike was always like recording stuff like, hey man, you need to record this. Hey, you need to post this. So now it's just coming naturally, man. So like literally I put something together, or I get a video or something, and it gets put together so quickly, man. So yeah, it just comes a little naturally now. So now I'm just trying to post every day if I
yeah.
can, man. If I got the content to do that. So yeah.
And that's part of what we're talking about today. And when we get into that evolution, I would say, of becoming successful. You know what I'm saying? Because when you don't come from it, you kind of got to grow into it. You know how they say, like, the athlete got to grow into his body, or the athlete got to grow into that role or that mind. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the same thing with entrepreneur and business and all that. You kind of grow into it. And so we all find ourselves growing. And I came through the same thing early this year. Like, I started Wealth is Gangster like 2 years ago. But in the first 2 years, I probably had 15 videos, maybe. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
not being consistent. And what I did this year is like, I constantly told myself I have to put out more content, at least 3 to 5 pieces a week. But
Mhm.
I know myself too. And that's what I try to tell people. You have to be real with yourself and don't lie to yourself. Check yourself and hold yourself accountable. So for me, holding myself accountable was dealing with Mike and Van and Miss Rhonda and coming up with a daily a show. Now I got accountability partner that I know. Even the days I don't feel like it, somebody gonna hit me and be like, "Hey man, we go on at this time, right?" Or you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yep.
or it might be vice versa. It might be they kind of don't feel like it, but then I hit them and be like, "Okay, yeah, let's go and do it. We committed to it. Let's try to keep it going." So that was my way of making sure I put out more content, because if it's just me, I ain't gonna lie, I might not be as consistent as I am when I know I got somebody that's on the other end that I can look forward to learning from, building with, and just growing as we do this content thing.
Right.
Yeah,
100%. 100%.
so like as far as and this goes to what we talking about being successful, because I want to pick your brain a little bit, because we have talked about how you went from the college to in your how you transformed the way you thought and the way you was processing this information. So what would you say, like one, maybe a couple of the biggest keys? Because I had this conversation with my brother today, matter of fact, and he was asking me for your number. I'm like, "You lost the number already?" I said, he's just so scared. He's at the edge of it. He told me today he ready to jump off though. You know what I'm saying?
You ready to jump off the porch?
Yeah, and I told him, I said, man, I need to talk to Jerry. I said, man, me and Jerry, I'm gonna be on the live with Jerry tonight, man. So I'm gonna make sure I get you that content, man. But just that stage when you right there, you got so much potential, but when you're just not born into it and raised into it, that first initial jump is the hardest jump. Like you're gonna go through ups and downs when you get in the game, but once you in it, you kind of expect it. You know that this is it. It's really the beginning before you jump in that you just waver and you're so scared. But that's what keeps a lot of people from being successful. You know what I'm saying? So just talk about yours in your situation, but just in general, that mind state that it takes to finally get over that hump to just start.
Well, my situation was I had bills to pay, man. And mentally, I was just out of there. I didn't want to go back to work a 9 to 5. But it was one of those things where I felt like it was my calling to be an entrepreneur, right? So even though I was driving Lyft, I was applying for jobs, even though I didn't want to, even though I didn't want to go back because my funds was getting low. I was applying for jobs, and bro, I couldn't get one. Now you got help wanted signs everywhere, but I could not find a job. So that's how I kind of figured out, like, maybe entrepreneurship is my calling, right? But since my back was against the wall, man, scared as I don't know what, not really any other options, I just did it. So once I started, studying and actually taking action, not to get discouraged or anything, I started visualizing my success. Yeah. And I think that was really, really key also. So literally, because I got my first deal within 45 days. And I don't know if I told you this, but it actually took me 6 months to find my next deal. So 6 months of consistent zero.
Yeah.
So I was literally just visualizing myself closing a deal, hearing sellers say yes, getting a check at the title company. Those are the things I just started visualizing. I'm like, you know what? I want to do it 2 times a month. I want to do it 3 times a month, 4 times a month. And just visualizing about those things day in and day out. Yeah. Eventually I got to that point. I think the record number that Michael and I have had, 10 closes in 1 month. That's 10 checks at the closing table, 10 times at the title company where we closed on houses and got a check. So visualizing your success, no matter where you are at in life, I think that's really key.
Yeah. And what you're doing as you visualizing, you building up that self-confidence, because you're still that self-doubt in it. Like you telling yourself I can do it, but it's something in the back that can I really? But the more you telling yourself, I see this, I visualize this, I'm listening to a podcast that talk about it, I see somebody on YouTube that's actually doing it. All these things start building up that confidence that what I believe is really true. It's attainable. You know what I'm saying? Like it really can happen. And that's valuable to us, especially in our community where you're not going to get a lot of support. You're not going to get, if you tell people where I'm gonna be, like you said, you actually had it, but people thought you were crazy, or like parents and family members or whatever, because not because they really just don't, they doubt you, because they just don't see it. And in their world, that's crazy. Just go get a job, and that's more secure. And like I try to tell people all the time, is the biggest scam is the life that we were born into, that we really think, but the stuff that can get us right is the what we call a scam, and that's the part we have to figure out in our mind state. Is really is really vice versa of what we believe, and the unlearning and relearning of what really it takes to get power, to really what it takes to get your family in a better position, not just happy to make it, happy that I paid my bills, or happy that the stuff that we normally happy for, because we're so used to struggling. We have obtained the kind of culture that just like, oh, it's okay if you struggle, and it's not like you're a bad person if you're struggling. What I'm trying to say is the mindset part of it, that it's not okay. It's, if you're in a struggle, okay, whatever. But your mindset should be like, how I'm going to get out of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have a mindset that it's okay. It's okay. I can die like this as long as I can pay my bills and eat a little something and go out every blue moon and have a little fun. No, that's not okay. And that's what I'm telling people about raising the standards. We have to raise our standards. And if people feel like, well, you feel like you're better than people, I tell people all the time, I'm not better than no one. I want more than most, though. So I say, you're not gonna wealth shame me like we fat shame, we skinny shame. You're not gonna wealth shame me because I'm operating different. I'm hanging around different people. I'm moving different. So you think now you want to say I think I'm better? Nah, you're not gonna wealth shame me. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you to do better, you gotta move different. You gotta hang around people that's different. You know what I'm saying? Like, so as we build to get to success, what do you think some of like the hardest things to get over that hump? Like when you really like, okay, I'm about to change my life. I ain't got nothing to my name. I'm about to change my life. What are some of the hardest things to either deal with or get over to get to the other side?
Hardest thing would be listening to the little voices inside of your head saying that you can't do it, and also, not telling the wrong people your dreams, man, because that stuff is tough, man. That will have you in depression, man. From your loved ones telling you like, "Hey, I, I hate to see you like this, man. Just go on, give up, man. Come on back home, or hey, go ahead and apply for that job."
Yeah.
So that's the toughest part. Whenever you're really passionate about something, you can't necessarily share your dreams with everybody because not everybody is a hater. They just don't want to see you go through the things that they're going through, that you're going through, because it may be uncomfortable for them. It's something that they wouldn't do, but they have no idea what it takes to get to where you're going. And that's where you have to realize, like, hey, you know what? Let me keep these thoughts to myself, or let me reach out to somebody who's doing what I'm doing, or maybe I need to write it down in a journal or something like that, man. But between that and listening to those little thoughts in your head, because like you said, like these are places that none of our family members or maybe nobody we even know have ever been before.
Yeah.
So you're talking about let's do real estate for example. You're talking about there's a possibility where you can make somebody's salary off of one deal, man. You can make somebody's salary on one real estate deal. That's life changing.
More than a salary.
Yeah, or you can make more.
Yeah.
There's literally no cap on the type of money that you can make in a transaction. So I think that's the toughest part, man. Listening to those little voices inside your head, man, saying like, "Hey, give up. Hey, don't. You know, you can't do it." Social media was really big too. Those 6 months where I didn't do any deals, where I went zero, I cut off social media. I didn't want to see anybody like flexing with checks or fake living life or anything like that. I locked in, man. I wasn't trying to see anything. I was straight tunnel vision. I was just trying to get it.
Yeah. No, that what you gotta know your season. That's what I always tell people. You know what I'm saying? And like I tell people right now, I'm in an ugly season. Why? Because everything I got is just going back into it. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Everything, but I know that, and I'm comfortable with that, and I'm cool with that. So if I see the homie over here shining in a Bentley or shining in that, man, I salute you. He maybe he in a season that he's out of the season that I'm in. You know what I'm saying? And that's what, and I try to teach these youth about that, because that jealousy and that envy keeps you from getting to your peak or getting to where you can go, because you see somebody else. Be clapping for them because they made it through the season that you're going through now. And if you're happy for somebody that made it through that season while you in it, you gonna enjoy it more. And them same people can celebrate you when you make it through your season. So I try to tell these youth, because a lot of that you'll see somebody flexing, or he trying to shine on me, or he hating, and then that's when people want to rob and they want to do this and they want to do that, instead of congratulating them, saluting them, because that takes a lot of hard work. You know what I'm saying? Yes. You don't know the sacrifice. You don't know how many packages of noodles or something that person have ate to get to that season. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
Because that's real. You know, so that's definitely, and it's the success is all of it within you, right? Like everybody's success is different. I got a partner that he got 3 kids. All he wanted is about six rental houses, so each one of his kids can have at least 2 of them. And by the time they get 18, the value then went up and everything. That to me, I want way more than that. But to me, that's better than just not wanting nothing. You know, not leaving your kids nothing, not doing nothing. That's cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, so we have to understand that too. Like, everybody's success is different. Like, to me, I'm ambitious. I want to be in the billionaire club. I want to do this, not because I want to make all the money, because I know the more monetary cash I can touch, the bigger impact I can have. You know what I'm saying? So mine ain't even about just I want to touch the money. I know the more I get up on that level, the more I can do. You know, that just go without saying. So, but that might be too much for somebody else. They just, hey man, I don't want that. I just cool. But I always tell people, even if you work, put yourself in position where you're good at that job, fire you. Even if on a basic level of quote unquote wealth or something, could you still be? I tell people all the time, if no one's hiring, and I talk to my street guys, I said, if no one's hiring and you can't sell no drugs, can you still take care of your family? Put yourself in that position. You know what I'm saying? Like just put yourself in that position, and then at least you'll be on a better level than you would have been. But you know, some people want more. So when it comes to success, what do you think about? Like, what do you rate as successful as? Is your ambitions just big, or you have, well, I just need this and I'm cool? Like, what do you see it, and what would you explain to people if you had to break it down?
Man, I think you hit it right on the head, where everybody's success looks different.
What's up?
That's definitely a gem right there.
Yeah.
Only because, like, when we first got into this business, we know a lot of guys who making 6 figures a month, not a year, but a month. Yeah. And you know, when you're in survival mode, you know, just trying to come up in the business, make some money, do some deals, you like, man, that look good. That looks sexy right there.
I need some of that. I need that, man. I can't wait.
Here I am, you know, in my Nike fit, and my man up here got Gucci on, and you know, he got it on, he got everything, you know, cash. You like, man, I want that. But you know, you don't realize what comes with that, or you don't know what comes with that. You know, maybe that person just lost their partner because of the business, you know, wife or husband, whatever the case may be. Yeah. Maybe they have no relationship with their kids, man. What if they don't have anything, but they just have all of this money?
Yeah.
And that's what we truly have to really see. What makes us happy? What makes us feel successful? So for me to be a success, man, just give me some passive income. I'm not sure about what my number is quite yet, but that passive income number to where I can just work whenever I want to, man.
Yeah.
I just work whenever I want to, as far as having a lot of rental doors, getting into some multifamily also, but just creating different streams of income, man, to where I could cover my bills and have a little play also, you know. So we say.
not, and that's kind of it. Really, to me, it's not a. Well, I guess some people do have a number. My thing is more of, can I live life on my terms? Like that
100%.
to me, that like I'm talking about if I can do whatever I want to do, if I want to do anything at all. Some days I might not want to do nothing, but the fact that I can choose not to do nothing today is the part that's wealth to me. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Or
the check's gonna keep on coming,
yeah,
regardless whether you show up today or not.
yeah,
And that's where I want to be at. That's the ultimate goal for me.
yeah,
So even right now, I love what I'm doing, but I think what how you get to that level, Tony, you got to be disciplined.
yeah,
You got to be disciplined, and you're disciplined with your money, with the money that you bring in, right? I heard you say you're putting that money back into the business.
yeah,
That's another challenge as entrepreneurs. You, especially first generation
yeah,
entrepreneurs,
yeah,
you're
yeah,
getting some money. You've never seen this money before. Imagine a real estate $5,000, $10,000, $65,000.
yeah,
You don't know what to do with that money. So what you gonna do? You gonna go out and blow it. That's what the typical person typically does, right?
yeah.
You ain't even put nothing to the side for Uncle Sam. You don't know nothing about taxes.
Nothing.
You done ran it up 6 figures a year, and you ain't paid taxes in 2 years, man.
And the money gone.
So yeah,
Now you done blew the money.
you done blew the money. You done blew the money, man.
And they still
So
coming.
yeah,
Now when
yeah.
they come in
So
the business slow, now you got a double whammy. Now it slowed down on you, but now Uncle Sam still want to holler at you about last year because he still seen that you ran it up last year. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
and they see it all, bro. They see
Yeah,
it all, man. Yeah.
and
So I think that's what helps you get to that successful level, man. Just being disciplined while you're building,
yeah,
putting that money to the side for taxes. Just always be learning, and that's the thing about entrepreneurship, man. Just always we never know it all, and we always learn something. We went
always.
to our CPA 2 months ago, feeling good, thinking we were good, and we walked out of there with our heads spinning, man. So it's just always something, man.
And you gotta embrace that
You
and
do.
be willing to learn and know because especially now, like business gonna go up and down and change anyway. But the times we in now, it's changing on a faster pace. You know what I'm saying? We got
Mhm.
AI, we got this, we got all this technology. So business, even in the 70s and the 80s, business would go up and down and change, but it's changing even 10, 15, 20 times faster than it used to because of the technology and stuff down. So you have to be extra on top of your game and be extra ahead of the game. You can't even be on top of your game no more. Now you got to be ahead of it. You know,
You
you got to
do.
be ahead of it because it changes so quick. And that's the I guess the good and the bad because you stay like me. I wake up every day energized because and not because every day is perfect. Especially now taking on this new project, like I'm having a lot of more headache in stressful days,
Yeah.
but I went in it knowing it, and that's why I tell people you have to embrace it. I got some stuff coming out on search called A Beautiful Struggle. When you have to
Mhm.
start embracing your struggles and embracing the hard times, because like I tell people all day, if I wasn't so ambitious, my life would be a lot easier because I live under my means. I don't need all this stuff. I'm not a partier. I don't do all that stuff. So if I just want to be like, you know what, I'm gonna just stop like this and live like this and just be cool, I'll be good. I'm the type of person that, like you said, what you gonna do with that $10,000 check? The last time I got a $10,000 check, I invested like $9,400 that day, paid some bills and went home and ate some noodles and stuff. Like
Come
most
on
people are not
now.
about to do that. You
Come
know what
on
I'm saying?
now.
Like
Yeah. Come on now. Everybody else going to Perry's and hitting up the Galleria, bro.
like literally, and I always tell that story because that's the point when you really serious about it. Because I get people tell me all the time, say, man, when I get my income tax, I'm gonna get with you. When I get this check, I'm gonna get with you. When I do that, what's up, D Money? When I do this, when I do that, I'm gonna get with you. And like I know that's when they lying because when I really know you serious is when you ain't got a dollar to your name and you moving, thinking, and you operate different way before your money get there. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? If I wasn't already operating different before my money came, when it came, I wouldn't have did what I did. But I was already on a different frequency. So when it came, I'm like, oh man, this got to go here. That's when I bought another little piece of land in Africa and did some other little stuff. And by the end of that day, I had like $600-700. I paid some bills and I went home and ate some noodles. I'm proud of that moment because that's the moment that as a community, that's the only way we're gonna get to the other side. We're gonna have to sacrifice like that. We can't get the $10,000 check and go get the Gucci belt and go out to Papa Do's and do not on the first one anyway. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But when you first start getting them, you got to be like, you know what? Nah, not on this one. You know, and when you start doing that, when you can have the money and still not have the money, now you doing something. You know what I'm saying? Now you own to something, and that's what people don't understand. Sometimes, most of the time, you should have the money, but say you don't got the money. That's when you're on the right path. You know what I'm saying?
I'm big on that, man. It's like the Michael and I, we did some research maybe like a year or two ago, man. And it was like the average lifespan of an LLC. I want to say it's like 4 or 5 years, you know, or something like that. But people create these LLCs and stuff like that, and they don't last long. So if we make it past 5 years, we're already above average, you know? So we came into the business. Well, once we became partners in the business, we came into it saying like, hey, you know what? Let's live below our means. So we put a lot of our money back into the business, right? So we can market more, put money to the side so we can buy more rentals. We're not paying ourselves this crazy amount of salaries and stuff like that. So like on social media, sometimes I think maybe 1 or 2 times I may have like said like, hey, we made $30,000 off of this deal, blah, 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 blah. And you know, people hear that and then they just run with it. Oh, Jerry and Michael made $30,000, and I have to switch it up like, hey, no. The business made $30,000. The business made $30,000. It's not my money. It's not my money. But we're able to do that, and the reason why is because we see the long play, man. We see the long play. We got rentals. We haven't even paid ourselves from the rentals yet, man. We just haven't. We don't. I mean, it's just there. It's there for a rainy day, and we're just gonna keep on building it and building it. You know, who's to say we can't use that money for a down payment to buy a 30 unit? You know, whatever the case may be. But we're just looking at that long play, and I think that's the biggest thing, because you want to have that money in case the opportunity comes along for you to make more money. Especially if it's passive, man.
And that's the key, because most of the time wealth is timing and being ready, or being in the right spot at the right time, but being ready when it hit. Like most wealthy people save up a lot of money just for when it crashes, so they can buy the houses and they can buy the stocks and they can buy everything at the bottom. Like it's actually because that's when the most wealth is made during the crash. That's what we don't understand. We scared of the crashes because we're out of position during the crash. That's the problem. Why that's the reason why we're scared of crashes, because we're not fully educated on how to operate in them, and we don't have nothing. We don't have hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars to, man, soon it tank, I'm gonna buy it up at the bottom. You know what I'm saying? Like we hear about buying at the bottom or buy, when the market is low, but we don't actually have the funds and resources to do it. So that's why we're more scared of the crashes than excited. Like a Trump or somebody like that, when they hear about a crash coming or a housing market crash, oh, they get excited, boy. They start doing the Birdman rub because they know we about to run it up.
Hey, we was getting our cash together, man. We was trying to get our cash up because we knew what was coming. We knew some opportunities to take over some mortgages, to buy some more real estate. So that's what we was working on, man.
Yeah, man, and that's. And see that, and that's what I'm saying about staying ahead. I mean, last time me and Mike was talking, he was just telling me about he was teaching, but he was telling me about now in December. I know that's when the market normally dips in December. Just off his little 2 to 5 minute little explanation. That's one of the things I remember from that class. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying. That's being ready. That's being prepared. That's being knowledgeable of the field that I'm in. I've been researching. I've been studying it. So I know that this month is normally like this. This season is normally like that. So you're prepared and you know how to maneuver or adjust, or this is the ugly season. This is this season we might can shine a little bit more. It all goes into it, and that's what you have to build up as the mental and the thick skin of how this stuff operates.
And I tell you what, man, having the right people around you who understand that too, man. Like, um, I got a small circle of friends, right?
Yeah.
And they all understand. Like, we all got group chats. I got about 3 different group chats. They be like, "Hey, man, we going to DR this day. We going to DR this day. We going to Miami this month."
Yeah.
I can't, everybody down. I'll be like, I can't do it, man. I can't do it. And they don't give me no pushback or anything like that because they already know.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, I can't do it. I literally dumped all my money into this project. Hit me up in maybe like 60 days and
Let me, yeah,
we can
yeah.
revisit this, or this not the time. But it definitely helps when you got people in your circle who understand the vision that you have and where you're looking to go. Because like I said, it's not, you say that ugly season, your vision and where you're trying to go. But when you have to miss out on some events though, we all human. You be like, damn, man,
Yeah.
I would love to be there. I would love to, fly back home and see the people. But you know what? I gotta stick in here for 30 or 60 more days, and
Yeah.
then it'll all be good. It'll all be good.
And it makes you put like, man, I want to be there, and at the same time, it's a determination because that's why I need to hear. This is what I always do. Like I haven't been out of the state in a couple years now, and I used
Mhm,
to go 2-3 times a year just to like regroup. You know what I'm saying? Like
mhm,
since the COVID and all that, I used to go like Miami and Cali. I used to go there once or twice a year each just to go sit in front of the ocean and re-energize myself. I just love to be out there listening to the water. That's just one
mhm,
of the things that I love to do. But
mhm,
what it does is when the group can go and you choose not to go, even if you could have went, but you're like, nah, this is not the right time, it's not the right season,
mhm,
it's not,
mhm,
that discipline. That
mhm,
discipline is what it takes. Because most people that travel to, I ain't gonna say most people, a lot of people in our community that traveling on their last dime. Literally,
bruh,
I know people that
bruh.
travel and come
I've
back with nothing, or might
Bro,
need.
I've seen people
Yeah,
travel with no money or
yeah,
be swiping the credit card the whole time. I'll be like, bruh.
yeah. Hey, or be making calls like, hey, I need you to wire me $500. I'm stranded. I'm stuck. I'm doing bad. I'm talking about like they can't afford to miss no plane. They can't afford to miss nothing. But they out there living their best life, and that's when I be like, you wasn't ready for that trip yet. Like,
Mm-mm.
and that's what we was talking about the other day when we had the meeting at the House of Resources. When Hussein was talking to the group of people that I had there, we was just talking about like earning your vacation, earning that new car, earning whatever you want. Make yourself earn it, not just because I got the money, I'm gonna go get it. No, I want that, so I need to do this, that, and the third, and then I can go get that. Now I done earned it, and that makes you feel better. I remember a mentor telling me, hey, my wife wanted a BMW, so what I went and did is bought her a rental house that paid for the BMW. I'm not gonna just go
All
buy
right.
the BMW with my money, but
All
I
right.
go buy an investment, and that investment can pay for your BMW. So
All
it's a
right.
whole mind switch, and just the way you operate on a daily. You know what I'm saying? That's key. So when it comes to just those type of tools and gems that we talking about, how important do you think that is to let me take? Yeah, we good. Let me take I might want something right now, but let me wait 6-9 months to get it. You know what I'm saying? Let me buy an investment that can pay for it later.
Wait, hold up, brother. It froze on my end. So ask your question again. I'm good now, but you
Okay.
froze.
Yeah. Now I was just saying, like, just as delaying that self gratification. Like you want something now, but let me get an investment, and maybe what I want I can get in 9 months. You know what I'm saying? Or a year. You know what I always tell people, if you can afford something, like I have people that they have a car, it's running okay, but soon their income tax they want to go get a new one, and I'm
Yeah.
like, if you can afford a car now, wait another year. If you can afford a house, wait another year. So you give yourself an extra. You can afford it now. You give yourself extra time to save, prepare yourself, and get it together. Don't get it just because you just got the money to get it.
Mhm.
That's what I'm saying. So just delaying that self gratification, delaying that trip, delaying. Oh man, it would have been good on the beach, but you know what? I can't go into to the spring. I can't go into the late fall or something. I just gotta wait, even though I know y'all gonna ball out, y'all gonna have fun, but this just ain't my season. So, like, to get to that next level, how is important to develop that mindset? Because we definitely don't. We're not born with it, but to put yourself in positions where you do challenge yourself and you do turn that stuff down. How important is that to you?
It's extremely important, and it's the reason why we are a part of the 1%,
Yeah.
because we're willing to do the things that others aren't willing to do, right? So you want to have that, you want to put some money to the side, you want to say no to some things, right? Because I'm sure it's happened to every entrepreneur, every business owner. You're going to have some slow seasons. You may hit zero. Michael and I here recently, we went 4 months zero, but because we live below our means, we had the funds in our account to continue to market, continue to keep pushing,
Yeah.
stuff like that. If we would have paid ourselves too much or went to go ball out and here and there, we would have been out of there. We would have been tapping into different funds that we didn't have no business in, right? So you definitely need to save for those rainy days, especially if you have employees, man. Once you start, so it's you, okay? You got to take care of yourself, right? But imagine when you have employees now. Now you have 4 or 5, 6. You have 5 employees that works for you.
Yeah.
You got 5 families that you're feeding. They're depending on you. So what are you going to do to put them in position to be able to feed their families?
Yeah.
And that's a different flex. That's a whole different type of responsibility. So
Yeah.
once you start getting into stuff like that, that's when you'll start thinking a little differently, right? Especially when it's time for raises and bonuses and stuff like that. You want to keep the team. You want to keep the team moving. So if you want to last in this business, man, if you want to last in this business, any type of business that you want, because the statistics are against you. Like I said, it's like the stats say LLCs don't last long. They don't.
Yeah.
So as far as being individuals or whatnot, but you want to put that into the business, because that's how I was looking at like the Fortune 500 companies ever since it was founded, like in the 1960s or something like that. Ever since it was first created, and it's only like a few of them that's actually still on that list. That's where I want our business to be. I want to still be here. It's still a blessing to me. It's still a dream that I'm still able to do this business and still pay myself, from my own company. It's wild, man. So I wouldn't dare take it for granted. And I'm gonna treat it like it's my own too. Like it comes with that responsibility.
Yeah, and it's a huge. And I think people sometimes when we talk about business, they think it's a lot easier than a job, and it's not. Like when you gotta do is just clock in and do whatever they tell you to do. That's different, and you got a check coming. Like you say, business. We can wake up and work the hardest in the world and not get nothing for it that day or that week or that month, like you said.
I remember my very first podcast I did. I was probably maybe 2 or 3 checks into this business.
Yeah.
And the guy asked, I forgot the question he asked me, but I was just like, yeah, man, I got into real estate because I got tired of working them long hours. And I regret that every day. I'm working more, man. I'm working more.
I tell people
I'm working more. So it does, so that it ties along with that discipline.
Yeah.
You can take the day off, right? But when you get nothing from the results, you got nobody to blame but yourself. Nobody to blame but yourself.
And that's why I always use the analogy. I tell people, they be like, man, you always doing something. I tell them I'm like a man in the wilderness. I got to kill something every day to eat. You know what I'm saying? Like if I want to eat, I got to kill something every day. It might be selling a washer or something at the thrift store. It might be this. It might be some barbecue sauce sales. It might, whatever it is, I got to kill something to eat. And that's my mentality. Because, like you said, it's up and down. It's slow seasons. Now I'm about like the thrift stores. We coming out of our slow season, which is the winter and the cold. Now in the spring, when everybody cleaning out their houses, cleaning out their garages, income tax hidden, so everybody balling, so they throwing out their old stuff and they getting, you know what I'm saying? Or they finally got a little money, so now they buying their first apartment, so they coming to get a couch. So this is my peak season for the thrift now. And so I know that, and so and when it's cold, I operate with different businesses, and I do stuff because it's, and we just got to know that. You got to know your business, know your peak season and your down season, and have a game plan for it. But you should have a game plan for life anyway. So that's basically what we're saying. Like really in real estate, when me and Mike were talking about it, we're gonna talk about real estate, but that's why we threw the realer than real estate on it, because we're gonna talk about life and the mindsets and the ups and then we're gonna talk about everything that go with it, because the one thing I love about real estate, because if you learn the real estate game, and I tell Mike this all the time, you're kind of ready for any industry, any business. You know what I'm saying? From the marketing, from the strategies, from the ups and downs, from all that stuff. It's similar to once you get skin for real estate, you ready for life. You ready for the challenges of every other industry and every other business. You
No,
know,
that's it.
yeah,
They were saying it's like a large percentage of millionaires who have actually done at least one real estate transaction.
yeah, yeah.
So I mean, I think that says a lot right there.
Yeah, yeah. And when I studied wealthy, that's the main thing I study. I study wealth and power. And you're
Mhm.
not gonna find no one. I know it's a few people that like most wealthy people are gonna mess with insurance, real estate, or real estate first,
Mhm.
stocks and insurance. That's what most of the wealthy people got a lot of their money tied up in that. It's other things, but those are the three top things. Because real estate, you just can't go wrong. When you listening to the McDonald's, we was talking about this the other day. McDonald's, I thought for the longest that they made their bread and butter was burgers. No, that's just their
Dollars is
cash
real
flow.
estate.
Real estate cash.
Real
The
estate.
burgers are their cash flow. The real estate properties that they've been owning for the last 30, 40 years and tripled and quadrupled and 10x and every McDonald's on every corner in the prime real estate spots of every city and town. That's their play right there. So when you start looking at it like that, you're like, oh man, that's a whole nother game that they're playing that went over my head. I'm thinking about all the millions of burgers that they selling every day. And they like, oh no, that you looking at the little money still. You know what I'm saying? This real estate is the big play, man. So, and that's what we got to incorporate when we thinking about, like when I get the House of Resources, I was thinking about everything they can do, but I was thinking about the real estate play. I was thinking about the institution building. We don't build institutions. We don't have those set cornerstones that they have in every other community. Every other community got cornerstone landmark spots that just off limits from selling, off limits for that, and those properties 10x over the years, and they just keep passing them down. So
Right.
that's the thing we have to learn. And I love it. I remember talking to Mike, and I love when he said y'all went into get the door, because at first it was just about a flip thing, and I was like, okay,
Mhm.
I love flipping, but I told him, I
Yeah.
said, man, me, I'm a more of a buy and hold guy. He like, Ray,
Right.
we just run it up right now. And then when he told me, yeah, now we diversifying it a little bit. Now we getting some doors and we getting this, and it's a growth. Like you say, you got to grow into these positions, grow into it, because you didn't know nothing about this. You didn't come from a family of real estate and all this type of stuff. So you kind of learned in it. So what was that point when that y'all seen? Well, okay, it's great. We're making some good money flipping. Now we need to hold on to a couple of these doors.
Honestly, it fell into our laps, man. Our first one. So we actually ran into a seller who didn't want a cash offer. So I'm like, what you mean you don't want a cash offer? For tax purposes,
Yeah,
she didn't want the cash.
yeah,
So Mike was like, hey, we could just do owner finance. So I didn't quite understand owner finance at the time, but once I went through the play, I understood it. So basically, we gave her what was it, like $65,000 owner finance. We pay her. I think our PITI payment is $400 a month, right? We're renting it out for 1,100. So and she's happy with that monthly payment
yeah,
each month.
yeah.
And we put a 5-year balloon on that. So basically, what that means at the end of 5 years, we owe her the rest of that money that's left on that note. So we have to either get some private money involved, like somebody to pay it, we have to pay it, or we have to refinance with the bank.
To get
But
to
but
get her
yeah,
out of
we
the way.
have 5 years to do that.
Yeah,
And we did that with $2,000 down.
yeah,
So we got a 4-bedroom house, putting $2,000 down, paying her $400 a month if she's happy, and is renting out for 1,100. So
Nice.
It that literally fell into our hands. So once we did that play and we just started building up the wholesaling money, that's when we knew, like, hey, you know what? Especially in that downtown area of Killeen, man. Whenever we first started wholesaling, a lot of people were scared of investing in that area,
Yeah.
right? Because of the things that used to go on, and maybe some things still go on. But we saw the opportunities there, and also it's a lot of us out there, right? But it allowed us to get into that neighborhood, buy at the right price, and we're not charging crazy amounts for rent either, believe it or not. Which a lot of landlords, they like to jack up the rents because of the stuff that's going on
Mm.
in our in this current market right now,
Yeah.
or they're just slumlords
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
taking advantage of it.
That's a lot of those. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of those. But because since we market for our own deals and we reach out to these sellers and we basically are the middleman, like we get our own deals, we can buy at the right price. So if I buy it at the right price, as long as we make our money, I don't need to jack up the rent on there. I
Yeah.
don't have to. So that's what I love about it, man. And I always like to tell Mike, like, we're providing affordable housing in the hood for our people,
Yeah.
and that's what I like about it.
Yeah. That's powerful.
So yeah, and that's something a lot of people can't say, and we take pride in that. A lot of tenants, we get them into our houses. I don't check for credit. I don't care. I do check records, but I don't care for credit. A lot of people get pushed away because of their bad credit. I've been there before. Some people just catch a bad break when it comes to stuff like that. That does not mean they don't deserve a place to stay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm gonna put the right things in place to ensure that I can, get some rent paid, at least some pay stubs and stuff like that. But at we just qualify people,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
The people who will typically get turned away, we give them a shot, man. So that's what I love about it. We just really making the difference in the community.
And that's what it's all about, putting ourselves in position that we can make those calls. Because for the longest, we're not even in position to be able to do that. You know what I'm saying?
So,
We had everybody else call, so they can call. And most of the time they be like, "Nah, your credit," just because they can, because they can choose to do what you're doing too. They choose not to. And I'm
right,
pretty sure they choose to do what you're doing if it's the right person in front of them, because they can. And, that, and,
100%.
that, and that's the good thing about putting yourself in position to make that call. And that's what we need to understand in our community. We cry about that and say it's unfair instead of figuring out how can I put myself in position where I can make that same call. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Same call.
yeah, So I salute you on that. But that's the whole thing. I'm always telling people, put yourself in position so you can make that call. Quit asking for opportunities and create your own opportunities. Quit, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't need to be at your table. I'll build a table. And then once I build my table, you respect me a little bit more. Then maybe we can put our tables together. Sometimes it's just that simple too. Like, but we got to be willing to do what it takes to get good to that next level. And that's what we was talking about tonight about the success. Because a lot of us just we wanted to just come out. We microwave people. We want to come out with an idea. I go through this with my mom and a lot of my family members. They want to be able to, they see the stuff I've been doing for the last 15, 20 years, right? The struggles, but they want to skip over all that and just, how can I just be like the person on YouTube? You can't. You're going to have to get your head touched on too a little bit,
Yeah,
and you can make it easier by joining certain people and paying for certain coaching. And, like, it's a lot easier. Like when I first started this, early 2000s, MySpace wasn't even out. I couldn't go to YouTube and get a quote unquote mentor. Now you can get on YouTube and have a mentor, even if you don't know them. They still giving you game for free and knowledge and all that. You couldn't do that in the early 2000s when I started. We just had to fend for ourselves. We had to go for it. You know what I'm saying? So now to break out that shell, it's a lot easier. But like I say, it's still a mental block because it's a lot tools. It's like you go to YouTube University before you even spend $1 on coach. I
real
have learned
talk.
over the years that it's important So it's important to get a little game on YouTube, but when you're ready for that level, you're gonna have to drop some bread to really get cash, to really get that real game. And that's
Real
what a lot
talk.
of us we want to get it all from YouTube and all for free. But as long as you want everything for free, you're not ready to get wealth. And that's what we
100%.
was talking about the other day because Grant Cardone convention a sell out like that, $20,000 a seat.
Yeah. Yeah.
A Dr. Boyce $300 seats. He
Yeah.
gotta go half off to get somebody up in the room. Not because one is smarter than the other, because one culture respects knowledge and respects information more than the next. We want it free. Oh man, you supposed to be for the people. Give it to me free. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, but I can give you $1 million worth of game for 200-300. If you
100%,
can't
man.
pay 200-300, you don't want it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
how do you feel about that when it comes to like the respect of knowledge, the respect of the information? That some just want everything for free, and that correlation with wanting it for free and never getting to that other side. Because most of those people that want everything for free will never get to the other side just because of the way they think.
Yeah, brother, it's tough. So Michael and I are working on a course right now. It's gonna cost. It's gonna cost. We put another price on that.
Yeah.
However, up until we get to that point, for 3 years now, bro. Remember that book I told you that I read that helped it get going for me?
Yeah.
The wholesale after this, I got nothing for you. I get a lot of DMs, messages, people reach out like, hey, Jerry, I want to learn about wholesaling. Do you offer any coaching? Put me in the game. And I'm just like, hey, my hands are tied. I'm pretty much in everything. You can either A, bring me a deal and we can work it together, or B, I send them the link to that book. I'm like, hey, read this book. I think it's like $7.99 on Amazon right now. Yeah. Read this book, real easy read. Let me know you read the book, and we can chop it up on Zoom if you're not local, and I'll answer any questions that you want, and we can run the play. Brother, I haven't had one person do it yet, man. I haven't had anybody do it, but it sucks. But on the flip side, it lets me know that, hey, they're not serious about getting into this business. Or, hey, maybe they realize they didn't want to do all of this work to get into the wholesaling business, but that's the tough part, man, because when it comes to personal development for me, especially like even before I had it, I told you I spent that 15 racks to get in that room.
Yeah.
Even before I had it, I would spend it. And even now, I'm going to spend it because I know there's no cap to this money that we're going to that we can make.
Yeah.
So once you can shift your mindset from like, hey, you know what? I'm going to hold off on buying these Jordans and I'm going to buy this ebook, to where I can buy 10 pairs of Jordans whenever the time is right.
Yeah.
That's when that shift happens. And
that's what I'll try to tell people. It's scary, but it's scary for the simple fact. That's why I tell people that's why it's called 1%, because it ain't that 1% smarter than 99%. They just they willing to do and go farther and harder and go without longer than the 99%. That's the difference. That what separates everybody. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like what separates, like when it comes to me, what separates me and certain people, it's a lot of people make way more money than me, but it's what I do with my money that's more impactful. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like that's part of it. Because what I go with that, I don't need all that stuff. People like, man, you can get you a newer truck. Wow, I got 3 trucks they all pay for. I got a box trucks that's paid for. Now I'm in my old trucks because I crank them up every day. I crank them up, they make me some money. I don't owe nobody no lease or nothing on them. Right. And when I do get a newer truck, it's gonna be why? Because now I'm in drop shipping or something that's gonna pay for that. Like I don't get it just because I want to get it to look good to the world. When I get it, it's for a reason, it's for a purpose. And then when I put myself in a certain position, like I said, I know what season I'm in. I'm not in the season to get anything like that. But will that season come? Yes. Because why? Because I'm setting myself up for it. I'm going through the sacrifices. And even when I do get to that season, I done learned so much game now that the stuff that I thought people was wasting and throwing their money on, I realized that a lot of them people getting that stuff for free, cheap, You know what I'm saying? You see a lot of the Rolls Royces and all that. You think, oh, they blowing their money. Nah, it's the regular person that buy the Rolls Royce that's blowing their money. When you make it to a certain cap, man, that's a right. That's a either a write off. That's a play. That's all the stuff I'm learning now about a lot of stuff that be going on. We think it's wasting money. It's like, no, it's the people in the middle that's blowing their money. That's why they give it to the celebrity. They give it to the rich person to throw it on. Then they know the everyday person gonna kill themselves to try to wear it. But that rich person ain't paying for it.
100%, man. Man. I know a millionaire, man. Yeah, he's sitting on M's. I know a
Yeah.
millionaire in Temple, man. Big old house. Probably wear the same 5 fits every week. Drive like an '01 Camry, man.
Yeah, chilling.
That's he chilling,
Yeah,
man. And that's what if we understand that, it'll be so amazing.
be
Because
game
I mean,
changing,
like you
man.
said earlier, with the tax return, that tax refund. What if like you and your partner put that together, man? That's on a down payment on the investment property.
Life
All that
changing.
cash flow from that can go to those Jordans or that new car, that
Yeah,
car payment. You
yeah,
doing stuff like that. That's what we'll be all right. But like I said, that's where literally all of this stuff you can get an idea from it from YouTube.
yeah,
And from there, the way social media is set up, everybody got an ebook now.
yeah,
10, 20, all the way up to a few $100 to just really just change your life for generations, man. So the information now is out there.
yeah,
Michael and I last year, we thought about doing the ATM business, right?
yeah,
So I said, okay, cool. Got on YouTube how to start an ATM business. Do you know I set up the entire business off of YouTube alone?
mm,
Off of YouTube alone.
yeah.
Got to the very last step, which is purchase an ATM. And then we realized, like, hey, we want to use this money for real estate. I don't want to do it. We don't want to do it anymore. Yeah, we would get a better return from real estate.
Yeah,
But it was just the fact that the entire play was on YouTube
yeah,
for free.
yeah. It
It was
is,
there.
and it's a lot of plays like that for the free. You
Yeah,
know
it
what I'm
was
saying?
there.
Like, man, if it's networks and stuff you want to get part of, you're gonna pay to get inside that, and
Yeah.
that's value too. And that's what I was trying to tell people today. Sometimes paying to get a coach, you're not paying for the coaching per se. It's the network. It's the people it's the rooms you can get into now, and we got to understand that too. That's part of it. That's part of the knowledge. Part of you, unless you just know somebody that can get you in that room. You got to pay to get in that room. You got to
Yeah.
you got to drop that bread to get in that room. But getting in that room can change your life. You know,
100%.
and that's we got to understand the relationships, and that's why I value when I talk to brothers like you and all that, because you and Mike and other brothers, because I value that, because I see this. I'm a visionary, so I see this. I see the next 3 to 5 years. Like, man, I'm surrounded by some powerful people. You know what I'm saying? Like the world don't even know yet, but I see it.
Yeah.
So that's why I love these moments now, because I tell people when I be talking about what I post and stuff, I'm like, a lot of people just post every day. They post random stuff, whatever. Mine is me documenting becoming what I'm becoming. Like I strategically, I always say my social media is for my business, is not my business. You know what I'm saying? So you don't get a lot of my business, but you get all of my businesses in my mindset, because I'm kind of like documenting what I'm becoming. Like if you see my posts 5-10 years ago, they're a lot different. But you didn't watch my growth. You didn't see what I did and overcame. And so now you watch it, it's like a reality show. You just seen it come through, man. So that's what it is. But success, it's a mental thing more than money. And that's what I really want to just make sure that we cover tonight, about just the mental block that most of the time before they get to the money. And I have to learn this. I'm still learning. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I love the shows that I do, because the people I bring on, I learn, and I'm still seeking out information. When we get off now, I'm going to be doing more research, because it's constant learning. It's constant growing, especially when you want to be a better person, better leader, better businessman, better everything. You know what I'm saying? You're going to always constantly be learning, man. But I appreciate you coming on tonight. I want you to get the last words, man. So end us off with some good words about success. Let everybody know where they can follow you at, and give out all your social medias, and close it on out for us.
No doubt. Thanks for having me, man. I think the biggest thing is just showing up for yourself each and every day. Um, write down what does success look like for you? what that's what it really comes down to.
Yeah.
What do I have to do to have a good day today? For me, I know it's getting a morning workout in. If I don't get that morning workout in, I'm gonna be all over the place.
Yeah.
So establish what your day needs to look like in order to get you to the next step. What makes you happy? What does success look like for you? um, Putting the money to the side. Maybe that's family, finances, maybe that's your health, whatever the case may be. And that's where that true happiness comes from, man. So I'm on IG, J. Pearson, Facebook, Jerry J. Pearson, wholesaling real estate. We're always buying in the Central Texas area, especially Killeen. Reach out if you got any questions or anything like that. I appreciate you for having me, Tony.
Man, I appreciate you being on, man. This is another episode of Wealth is Gangster, Realer Than Real Estate Wednesdays, man. I salute Mike at the conference. I appreciate Jerry for coming on and like this family, so you'll be seeing them a lot more, man. Y'all have a good night. Thanks for everybody for tapping in. I'll talk to you later, Jerry.
All
Salute,
right,
man.
absolutely.